Yo, yo, yo. What up, peoples? Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. More Remnant 2 today, yeah. Not until we get this new stuff looked at, though.
New shake weight jam.
My dude.
Booty, baby.
Yo, 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 dude.
They're pretty funny, Jebs.
What up, brother? How you doing, man? My man. What up, Syke? Good to see you, man. So we got video gaming news for today, July 30th, and then we'll hop in there and play Remnant for the rest of the day. Cool. Remnant's a banger, dude. I'm in a tough location right now, just getting throttled by these robots, dude. It's pretty wild. But the game's a lot of fun, so that's what we'll do today, man. That's the plan. That's the jam-a-lamb. Let's get in here and see what we got going on in the world of video games. All right, let's do this. Kill that music. Let's go. How's your weekend been, Syke? What? Want some Final Fantasy in your Final Fantasy? The Final Fantasy team. What? What is this? Oh, that's actually sick, dude. This is a pretty cool thing. Oh, it's going well, dude. Yeah, it's going well. Yeah. Thanks for asking, buddy. Yeah. Better now that I've seen you today. See what we got. Oh, shucks, buddy. You're making me get all flustered. Oh, man. New research reveals online gaming's bigoted username problem. I don't think this is like a revelation here. You know what I mean? People are just toxic online, which inherently means there are a lot of toxic people in gaming communities too. And there are a lot of edgelords out there trying to be cool with these like usernames that ultimately are very offensive. And but dude, that's been something forever. I mean, I don't think that we needed new research to tell us that. You can go basically play any single online competitive live service game and you will see terrible, hate-filled, toxic usernames everywhere. Developers have started trying to do a better job of taking care of that kind of stuff, but there are always a lot of them that slip through the cracks. I don't know, dude. Is it good? No. Is it hard to deal with? Yeah, it is. Yeah, people are toxic in real life too. Yeah, no doubt. But I think what I'm trying to get across there is that like what the internet and the anonymity behind it provides is for people to take it to another level, and quite often I think to just let their true selves shine, you know, instead of having to put on a face for society, a mask for society, you know. And the anonymity it gives a lot of people, it allows them, you know, to act a way that they wouldn't normally act out in society quite often, where people know them and know who they are, and it can affect maybe their career or what have you. take away games, and I think that toxicity is expressed more subtly or more upfront. I mean, there's no doubt it's in the world. You just have to go take a look at, like, and let me be very clear here. Go take a look at any independent news source. Don't just go look at any news agency, because in my opinion, there are just too many news outlets out there that are pushing their own agenda and stuff. But, you know, you go look at any true independent news agency just reporting on worldwide news, you'll see the toxicity that the world spews every single day. I'm not disregarding that, but I do truly believe that the anonymity behind what the internet provides gives people a way to let loose with it in ways that they normally, a lot of people normally wouldn't. Media is so unreliable, dude. Yeah. And it's not just, I mean, it's not just in games either, dude. I mean, there's just online, I would say your previous statement, take away games. I think take away internet, because games are just a part of this. It's like video games have like their area of the internet, and what they provide people is an online community where anonymity exists, and the internet provides anonymity to a great extent for people inherently. So we've always seen people go to great lengths to do things they wouldn't normally think they could get away with while they're on the internet and connected, because they think that people can't find out who they are, you know, where they might not in normal everyday life, in their daily routine, do those kinds of things. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. But I'm not saying you're wrong either. I mean, there's the world is just a toxic place, dude. It is. Oh no, I agree with that. No, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think my take with a lot of so here's one of the things that I've kind of also come to know about a lot of people. And I'm not going to throw everybody in this same kind of box, but usually whenever people are joking, they have there's a little bit of truth, a little bit of true feelings behind what they're saying. So they go, I'm just joking. You know what I mean? But usually it's to kind of mask and hide the way they really feel. You know? That happens quite often. Humor's been used that way forever. And so, yeah, I agree. That's fine. We can agree to disagree on that front. Like I said, I'm not throwing everybody into that box, but I think you'll come across a lot of people that will not be willing to show who they, you know what I mean? They don't want to be fully out with some of these feelings they have, so they'll use comedy to kind of cover it up and be like, oh, I'm just joking. It's just a joke. I mean, I've seen it happen, dude. I've seen it happen with people I know. So I know it happens. And I know not everybody is that way, and they're definitely, you know, comedians are always trying to push that line of what is okay and not okay. So comedians are in a whole nother realm of, like, a true comedian's in a whole nother realm of trying to get people to kind of like chill out, relax, and understand that, like, sometimes we need to just like laugh about things and not take everything so flippin' seriously. But to be fair, I also think that there's the world has a history of terrible stuff, and you know, we can't just always joke about it, you know what I mean, and And sometimes it does need to be addressed in a serious capacity in order for us to try to address it appropriately and try to be better moving forward, right? Instead of just making jokes about it. So I don't know. $20 hours to complete Assassin's Creed Mirage. So $70 price tag, right? AAA game, 20 hours to complete. Is that okay? Is that okay? This is what I'm trying to get everybody to understand and realize. I just paid $20 for a game that I got 55 hours out of, and there was plenty more left to do in Dave the Diver. So I completed, and I'm guessing that's what they're going to say about, excuse me, Assassin's Creed Mirage, right? Is this game will be able to be completed main storyline in 20 hours, and then you can continue to do more side story stuff for a $70 price tag, probably, right? I just paid $20 and got an amazing time of 55 hours worth of main story gameplay and still had extra stuff to do. I mean, I don't know, man. And I think there's definitely a balance behind it. We'll talk about it as we get in here and look at this article. There's a balance because you don't want games to be absurdly long, needlessly long. People have other things to do. You want to be able to get to the end game in an appropriate amount of time. You know, even if you do want to continue playing the game, which is what a lot of games should give you, is you can beat the game, you can continue to do stuff after that, beat the main quest, main storyline, or whatever. But that seems a little bit low, in my opinion. We'll just have to read and see. Switch has critically acclaimed games priced at just $2. I'm going to throw out a bet here and say that it might include Inside. We always get Inside keeps going on sale on the Switch, and like it's like once a month. It feels like we get this kind of article. Oh, I bet Hasbro would love for them to. Hasbro wants Microsoft and Xbox to bring back Activision's Transformers games. Because they would make money off of that. Pretty sure, doesn't Hasbro own the Transformers licensing and everything? I'm pretty sure that's all Hasbro stuff. So everything that's made Transformers is basically like they get a cut. I think. And besides that, it's just good for their like publicity for you know, making their toys more, you know, marketable and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's a Transformers game that's in development right now. We heard about it about half a year ago. We haven't seen much on it since, but Rockstar teases RDR remaster through their website. Here we go. We knew it was coming. That's a big deal. A lot of people are going to be stoked about that. I'm stoked about that. Yeah, we've talked about a lot about this. The ESRB is wanting to scan faces for age appropriateness to meet rating guidelines. And I think it's a terrible idea, personally. Talked about it a lot over about the past week to week and a half. I'm not going to deep dive into it again, but surface level, it might seem like a good idea, but if it was only going to be used for what they're saying it's going to be used for, and we could be sure that it would be only used for good and no ill will, it would be fine. But that's just not the world we live in. There are many, many ways in which this could be used in terrible, terrible ways. Because mostly, who's going to be, getting? I mean, the reason this is coming about is because it's going to be scanning a lot of young individuals' faces. And sorry, I'm not comfortable with that. Even if they go, we're not going to be taking pictures. We're just going to be looking at facial cues and determining age based off of that. First of all, that's not going to be perfect system anyways. And even aside from that, we've had so many iterations and examples of companies telling us they're not going to keep our data. They're not going to store our data. They're not going to, this is just another occasion, I think, where we would be allowing a company to scan. They would tell us that on the service level, there's nothing to worry about. They're just scanning your kids' faces. But, I'm not going to believe that that's the only way it's going to be used. There's always going to be people in the back end managing all this technology and everything too. Anytime anything be made like this that's supposed to be used for good, there'll be people that use it for bad as well. And I think it's a terrible idea, to be honest. Baldur's Gate 3 features controversial setting that gives enemies 400% damage bonus. All right, dude. Brutal. That game's coming really soon, dude. We're a few days away here. The 3rd, right? On the 3rd? Thursday? Like 4 days, really? Ooh, man. We've heard about all these different kinds of settings they're going to have. Like you can make this game extremely difficult, which is cool. It's going to be a gigantic, massive game from the sounds of it. And for people that maybe want to replay the game or just enjoy increased difficulties, why not? Who likes hard games, though? I'm joking. That's me. I'm a masochist. It's like you yell at my monitor all the time. That's why. Speaking of monitor, dude, I hope my RMA process is fast. I want my flippin' 1440p back, dude. It still feels weird looking at this monitor. We talked about this yesterday. Path of Exile 2, there's a lot of changes coming about. They're going to keep supporting Path of Exile 1. I think the impression a lot of people got in the first place whenever Path of Exile 2 was announced back in like 2019 was that it was going to be more of this like kind of Overwatch scenario where Path of Exile 1 kind of converted over into being Path of Exile 2. And apparently that's not going to be the case. What we now know, because there's been a bunch of showcases that have popped off here, is that Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2 will be different games. That's what it's sounding like. There's some stuff in particular to note out of this. If you haven't seen much of this, some stuff that sounds really nice. We already knew that there was some kind of system coming in to do gem skill sockets. So you get your skills based off of socketing gems into your armor and your weapons and stuff like that in Path of Exile 1. They're doing away with that system in Path of Exile 2. What they're doing is that they're like incorporating this like nested gem system is what it appears to be. You've got these meta gems, these top level gems that you actually socket with your other skill gems inside, apparently. And what this actually is one of the big reasons why this is so nice is because one of the big struggles in Path of Exile 1 all the time was having to constantly use currency, grind currency to get links in your armor sets and your weapons, your different pieces of equipment to get your skills put together. And then if you got a more powerful item, you had to do the same thing to it before you would be able to use it appropriately and still maintain the same kind of skill set in the game. It was fairly brutal, actually. And this should make things a bit more fluid, a bit more user-friendly, I think. As what you'll only have to worry about is no longer the equipment side of things, but just that gem system entirely for your skills. And your equipment can just be swapped out now in Path of Exile 2 as you acquire better equipment. You don't have to worry about the sockets and the links and all that stuff on your equipment anymore, which is going to be really nice. The other thing that we found out that is great from Grinding Gear games in regards to Path of Exile 1 and 2 is that transactions, any kind of purchases you've made, as long as they're not specific and wouldn't be a part of the other game, they will transfer between the two. So like for Path of Exile 1, if you have a pet, you know what I mean? Pets don't really do anything but follow you around. They're like a cosmetic item. And that's what Path of Exile has always been built on. It's a free-to-play game, but it's been, supported off of the massive cosmetic side of what you can do in this game. And they've got supporter bundles and things like that, but there's no pay to win in it, anything like that. So you'll have things like maybe your hideout has some different items you've accumulated for different cosmetics or pet cosmetics, weapon cosmetics, even there's armor cosmetics and stuff to make you look different than what your armor would naturally make you look like. That stuff should transfer between both games. So your account is always going to have that stuff on it. Now, the difference being we have 5 or 6 new character types that can be used in Path of Exile 2. And if you have cosmetics that are specific to maybe one of these character types, like apparently there's like a shapeshifter now that you'll be able to use in Path of Exile 2. In Path of Exile 2, we'll have all the original character types plus these new additional ones. But in Path of Exile 2, if you had this shapeshifter and maybe you've got a cosmetic to make one of your shapeshifting forms look a bit different, right? You're not going to be able to find that in Path of Exile 1 because that character isn't in there. So that's the difference between where you will see a lot of the transactions you've made, the in-game items that you own, be used. You can use them in both titles, and where specific ones that are kind of niche won't show up in one or the other, right? But it's nice they're doing that. Popular Xbox 360 game can now be played on the Series X for $1.50. Excuse me, 49 cents. Take a look. Let's go to our other search real quick. Take PC out of the mix. Okay, just take PC out of the mix. If you've ever gamed on other platforms and stuff, what was your favorite all-time platform? Just interested. Was it the 64? The 64 was a banger, dude. It was really good. I hated these flipping controllers, though. I hated those controllers, dude. Always. Always hated those controllers. That was a great console, dude. It really was. Game Boy close second, really? That guy. I gotta get my thumb right. Boop, boop. My camera's all inverted, so I'm like trying to remember where the Game Boy is behind me. Yeah, dude. Like original Game Boy, right? That's what you're saying? Original Game Boy? The big chonky? The battery destroyer? the flipping battery destroyer, dude. Didn't even have a backlit screen. That thing would wreck batteries, dude. Mine's tough. Or the one right after. Wasn't that the was that the color? Yeah, game I mean that's yeah, Nintendo literally the only gaming like hardware developer that has been able to just continue to sustain handhelds. You know what I mean? We haven't seen really any other developer. We've seen many try to dive into that realm, but Nintendo's the only one that's been able to just continually do very, very well on that front, you know? Game Boy's been great forever, dude. Was it Game Boy Advanced or Color that came after the gray? I can't remember. Oh, there've been tons of handhelds, dude. Was it the Advanced? Was it? I think you're right. That's what I was thinking too, but I can't remember for sure. Look at this one, dude. How cool is that? That's so dope. Love that. The Pocket. Hold on. No, 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 no. God dang it, dude. Fat clicks, man. Pokemon Red and Green, dude. And then it was the Pocket. It was Game Boy Pocket, dude. Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Light, then Game Boy Color. Game Boy Advance didn't come out until 2001. Jesus, I was way off, bro. So, a lot of people, I think, quite often don't. You think of Game Boy iterations. You go Game Boy, and then Color and Advanced. But I couldn't remember which one came first, Color or Advanced. They weren't that far apart, really. Color was end of 1998. Advanced was beginning of 2001. They weren't that far apart. The Pocket, I know, dude. I forgot all about that one, dude. Super Game Boy, right? Yeah, I just crossed that too. Right here, Super Game Boy in '94. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Ferret. Yo, random mode time. Just popping in. Just popping in. Why just popping in? Are you still you still can't yeah, you're camping, right, Doug? How's the camping trip going, buddy? It's good to see you, man. Yeah, Super Game Boy. So really it was like Game Boy in 89, Super Game Boy in 94, Pocket in 96. Dude, they were pumping these things out. You know what I mean? They were pumping these bad boys out, dude. Super Game Boy 94, Game Boy Pocket 96, Game Boy Light 98, Color 98 as well. Super Game Boy 2 in 98. Bro. Leaky tint. Yo, dude. You know, we were supposed to go we were planning on going camping this weekend too, and that's when we had found that there were going to be a lot of storms coming through and stuff, and we were like, yeah, let's postpone, you know. And sure enough, dude, yeah, they came through, pretty nice ones actually. So it's probably we were probably better off delaying. I don't know when we're going to be going now, but we had some nasty stuff roll through, so it was a good call. Good call on my wife's part. So my favorite consoles of all time. I think my top's probably going to be PS1, probably. I loved the PlayStation 1. I'll never forget getting that for a Christmas. I never thought I would get it because we weren't very well off or anything, but I got it for a Christmas. Not the first year it was out or anything, I don't think. Dude, I can't remember, to be honest. Oh, for real, Ferret? Oh, wild, dude. Um, PS1's probably my favorite console of all time. Davey, what's up, buddy? And probably Super Nintendo's probably a pretty close second for me. Back home, Davey. Let's go, baby. It's gaming day, Davey. How was the rest of the camping trip, dude? I just remember PlayStation 1, dude. PlayStation 1 was like mind blowing to me. It was so incredible. Like the evolution of it, you know? It's the way it felt to me. It felt so incredibly advanced, you know? Bro, I am so sorry. Dude, I expressed this before. Literally what made me quit doing Boy Scouts. So whenever I was a little kid, so I told Davey this already. Uh, whenever I was a little kid, I did like Cub Scout stuff, and then as I got older, I had just gotten to the age where I was going to start doing Boy Scout stuff. So it's like the more advanced stuff, you know. And the first thing I was going to do, we went on a camping trip. A bunch of us kids around the same age and stuff. And they flipping took us out, dude, to this. We went on like a hike, this camp area and stuff, dude. Nice ferret, thanks. Appreciate that. Everybody take me serious here. You hear me? And dude, it rained. It was cold. It rained all night on us. Nobody had prepared for any kind of weather or anything. We were soaked all night long. Dude, I quit Boy Scouts whenever I got back. That day, dude, that next day after all that rain and cold, dude, we packed up and we hiked back, got back, and I just told my parents, I was like, I'm done. I think I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, this isn't for me, dude. I want to be in here. And I mean, dude, I was outside all the time as a kid, you know? That was just like, that was who I was. I was always outside. But I didn't need that, dude. I quit right then. All right, Ferret, take it easy, buddy. So I know that pain, Davey. I know that pain, dude. I'm glad you're back home, man. Sorry that the camping trip. Look, I mean, and as an adult, I've done a bunch of camping. I enjoy camping. It's cool. It can be a good time, but dude, it can be a bad time too. That's why we didn't go this past weekend. Um, my wife and kids, we were planning on going camping, and we saw that there was supposed to be weather and stuff, and we are like, yeah, let's just postpone it. And there were some bad storms that came through, so I'm really glad we did. I would have sucked. I already talked about this. Epic Game Store. Do I even have this up right now? Oh, come on, man. All right, solid. So, Homeworld Remastered Collection and Severed Steel are free right now. And next week, starting on the 3rd of August, you'll be able to get Bloons TD6 and Loop Hero for free. Both of these are great games. And they've given these away before, but if you missed them before, you should hop on these. I mean, you should get these too. It's free games, right? So grab your free games. Dude, I actually I got to watch my first competitive Street Fighter 6 gameplay last night. I was working on some other stuff, and I saw that Sony went live on Twitch. They were hosting a Street Fighter 6 tournament, and that's the first time I've gotten to see any Street Fighter 6 competitive gameplay. It was great. It was really cool to see. I love watching competitive Street Fighter gameplay, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, I'm excited for this. This isn't. We already knew this game was coming. I'm not going to dive into this. This is going to be a really dark take on the Ninja Turtles world. If you didn't know, the Last Ronin, and it's basically all but one of the turtles has perished. Splinter's also dead, and there's one Ninja Turtle left that has taken on the burden of being the only surviving turtle. And it has drastically changed, apparently, their uh, personality, which is Michelangelo. So this is manga. This is actually a book, a text that you can read to get understanding of what's going on here. Send me a whisper. Oh, okay, cool, Davey. Thanks, man. I'll take a look in just a second. And this is something that's going to be really, really interesting to me to keep track of as we move forward with development. Um, as I enjoy these kinds of games, and it's something a different take on the Ninja Turtles world than we've ever really seen, um, in the especially the video gaming world. So the it's really interesting. It's still a long ways off. I mean, there's nothing to see right now of the game. It's in early development, but just to know that it is something that's out there. If you want to start getting a little bit more educated on what this story is about, outside of what I just told you, if it seems interesting, you might want to dive into it. One second, buddy. Mm. Davey, I'll get back to you on that. Okay. All right. Um, I'll have to I'll have to write you back on that one. Okay. But I'll get back to you. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. I'll try to write you back before I start gaming today, okay? Well, Barbie video games used to be very popular back in the day. As a matter of fact, this year, one of the inductees into the Video Game Hall of Fame was Barbie. Yep, not just a nominee, actually inducted to the Video Game Hall of Fame. Now, with the Barbie movie becoming very, very popular, we're probably going to see adaptations come back, right? Remnant from the Ashes, maybe we should play it. Yeah, dude, there's probably a higher player base in the game right now than there has been for a while, because of the second one being here. So try to give it a shot. I'm loving the second one, dude. Loving it. That is a bold statement there, DZA. That's a bold statement. You mean prettier than Oh, dude, why am I blanking her name right now? Help me. Help me. That's what you're talking about? Than the actress that actually plays Barbie? That's a bold take there, dude. Why can't I think of her name right now, dude? It's right on the tip of my tongue, too. Same actress that plays Harley Quinn and everything, right? Margot Robbie. There you go. Thanks, Zach. Bro. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, Margot Robbie. Thanks, Syke. Thanks, dude. I kept hearing Robbie in my head and I couldn't put a name in front of it. I kept wanting to put a name after it. And I'm like, her name's not Robbie, dude. I couldn't get it out, dude. Not enough coffee this morning. Yeah. Have you guys seen the clip? Like, I don't know if I haven't seen the movie or anything, but there's a hilarious trailer for that movie where they're like on the beach and all the Kens are like going at each other, talking about a beach off. You've seen that? It's so flippin' funny, dude. Look up Barbie beach off trailer, um, if you're interested. It's flipping hilarious, dude. I'm glad they made it like a parody. You know, I don't think it really would have worked any other way. Not very well, anyways. What's up, DZA? Happy Sunday, man. How you doing? PS4 users surprised by cancellation of a long-awaited game. Uh-oh. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Final Fantasy 14 is coming to Xbox. This was announced like a day and a half ago. Jagged Alliance 3 has a demo in case you need proof it's not crap after all. All right, we'll look at this too. That would actually be great. Yeah. Well, and I mean, well, yeah. I'm down. I'm good for it, dude. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Break down the barriers, dude. Let's go. I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, whatever. Is that really what it is? It's just all about women empowerment? Is that what the movie's about? Or is that just like what people are turning it into? But had they cast a trans Barbie, they couldn't have said it. I don't think they would have been able to say anything about anything. You know, what I mean? That would have worked, dude. Yeah. I'd be all for it, dude. Whatever. I know there's a lot of hubbub about it. You know. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I know there's a lot of like hubbub going on about it and stuff. I feel like that if anything can be made controversial, you know, if it can be turned into a controversy, it will be, right? I mean, it's like it's so crazy, dude. Yeah, you're right, Say. Yeah, yeah, dude, eggshells everywhere. Yeah, and I mean, it almost feels like that, anyways. It almost feels like that, anyways. It's just so much ridiculousness, you know, that I've just and I don't really watch the news or anything because it's so off-putting most of the time. But just being on like anywhere on the internet, you see stuff about it all the time right now. There's just a big hubbub about it. Instead of it just being entertainment, I guess. All right, let's get in here. That should do it. Let's look at what we got. PS4 users surprised by a cancellation of long-awaited game. If you were looking forward to this PS4 game, you now need to buy a PS5. Uh-oh. According to the developer of the game in question, the cancellation of the PS4 version comes down to the aging PlayStation system being unable to run the game without serious downgrading. The mystery game is Quantum Error from Team Kill Media. The game was first announced for PS4 and PS5 in March of 2020. Garnered considerable attention as one of the first next-gen games revealed. There's still no word of when it will release, but whenever it does, it won't be on the previous gen PlayStation console. According to Team Kill Media, to get the game running at 60 frames like it does on PS5 would require not just a simple turning of the sliders down, but require changing assets to the point that the PS4 version would be a very different experience compared to the PS5 version. Saying it something it says would be unfair to PS4 users. Quote, unfortunately, we are going to have to cancel the PS4 version of Quantum Error, reads a statement about the cancellation. Even with the game being made from the beginning for the PS5, we still had hopes we could make a PS4 version happen. With the level of quality we have achieved with Quantum Error, the gameplay running at 60 frames, we have reached the conclusion there is no way for us to deliver a version on PS4 that would live up to what the PS5 is going to deliver. PS4 version would require too much downgrading and changing of assets, lighting, and much more to function. With a difference in memory and the slower HDD speed, it would be a very different experience that will not compare to the PS5 version and would not be fair to PS4 players. So there you go. If you were excited about Quantum Error coming to PS4, sorry, not happening. We've hit that point. I've talked about it a lot. We've hit that point. Now, this is a bit of a different situation because they were, planning on this game being on PS4, but a lot of developers are even just totally sidestepping previous gen consoles now. We're at the point where we're quickly approaching the 3-year mark of the current gen consoles release, which is what, October and November for Xbox and PlayStation, right? And so we're like roughly hitting halfway through their life cycle, and usually whenever that happens, previous gen consoles really start getting phased out, man. Software quits being developed for them. They quit counting sales towards those platforms. PlayStation's already quit counting sales. I know for a fact for PS4. I think Xbox quit counting sales as well for Xbox One. You know, it's the previous gen consoles are just being phased out, man. It's just part of it. Oh, what is this? Video from Julie about having a room full of feminists except for one. Mole pretending to be a feminist. Aim of the game is to find out who the mole is. Feminists start tearing. Yeah, I don't know, man. I I mean, we talk about that a lot too, right? I mean, there's definitely an area in the world for a lot of equal rights to be addressed and everything. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that notion. I talk about that a lot. You know, social justice and equal rights, and you know there's been a lot. I mean, the history of the world, dude. There's been a lot of discrimination and persecution and bigotry and things like that. And we need to be better. We need to get better. But there's always groups that and people that take it too far, right? Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No worries. No worries. I agree. I think you have to find the balance of addressing it appropriately. And I think it's if it's got to be balanced, right? I mean, if you take it too far, you get too extreme with it. All you're doing is harming the view of what you're trying to fight for, anyways. You know, it's like I think that's I think we see that the same way, dude. It's a weird situation. It's like people just go, and I can understand how people can get to that point probably if they feel like they've been wronged for so long for so many different reasons or whatever. It's a tough thing to really address, but I know. I hear you, dude. Jagged Alliance 3 has a demo in case you need proof it's not crap after all. Jagged Alliance 3 seems like a probable car crash waiting to happen, in part because most Jagged Alliance games are, and in part because its wide of the mark writing was already evident before release. But it turns out to also be a cannily designed mix of old and new turn-based strategy ideas. Now try it out for yourself. There's a demo on Steam. Perhaps they're just as surprised as I am. You'll find a demo download link in that post or in the sidebar on the Jagged Alliance 3 Steam page. Demo includes Ernie Island, the starting region. Kathy had a rough time when playing Jagged Alliance 3 before release, struggling with its UI, informational overload, and terrible merc barks. Sin had some similar criticisms of the UI in her Jagged Alliance 3 review and called the writing wincingly unfunny. None of it was so bad that it sunk what's otherwise a successful turn-based combat game. Characters have interesting, varied skills. Action point system is less rigid than in modern XComs, and the shootouts are chaotic, supported by the hiding of chance to hit percentages, argues Sin. It's a strong push to move the genre beyond the model we've been stagnating in for years that still acknowledges the strengths of that design. It's also got Steam Workshop support and an embryonic modding community. Want to see the chance to hit percentages after all? There's a mod for that already. Interesting. Let's see this. I'll just give you the link out of Steam. Back. You're interested in the demo. It's very positive right now. The game is 86% of almost 4,000 user reviews. Just came out on the 14th, like half a month ago, a couple weeks ago. So if you're interested in trying this out, it's an 81 on Metacritic. Not bad, man. Not bad. There's the link for it. Man, my throat's kind of jacked today. But I better not be getting sick, dude. It'll take around 20 hours to complete Assassin's Creed Mirage. Okay. So I'll read this and we'll flesh this out a bit. But my initial impression here is I want to compare a little bit. I already talked about this a little bit whenever we found this article in the first place. But, you know, you're talking about, like, is 20 hours appropriate for a game that's going to cost a AAA price tag? You know? Is that okay? It feels short to me. 20 hours feels short to me. And don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's more to do in this game besides just the main quest line, main storyline that I'm guessing is what they're talking about here. 20 hours to complete that. And there, I absolutely believe that there's something to be said for the balance between not making a game too long, right? You don't want to draw it out. You don't want to make it too long. You want to make something that is, you know, appropriate for people to be able to complete in a realistic amount of time and not just take forever and ever and ever. So main quest line stuff, but you know, to give people something to think about, again, like I said before when we found this article, I just played Dave the Diver, indie game, cost me $20, and it was I got 55 hours before I beat the main storyline of the game, and there was still plenty left to do in that game. And how does that compare? I know everybody's going to feel a little bit different about this, but I feel like for a AAA price tag, I'm going to expect a little bit more than just 20 hours of story, 20 hours of main quest line stuff. That feels a bit shallow, in my opinion. Whereas from indie developers, I'm getting 55 hours worth of main storyline gameplay for $20. You know what I mean? We'll talk about it. Let's see what this says. In an interview hosted by YouTuber, I'm guessing that is Julian Schaies, it was revealed by Assassin's Creed Mirage lead producer, Fabian Salomon, that it'll take players on average 20 to 24 hours to complete the game. That figure increases to 25 to 30 hours for completionists, which is a clear indicator of the return to form for the franchise. It was long promised that Assassin's Creed Mirage would be a smaller form title. It has even been considered a throwback to the older classic Assassin's Creed games with a map that spans a single city. It's reminiscent of releases like Assassin's Creed Unity and Syndicate, which had similar timescales when they were released in 2014 and 2015, respectively. Smaller equal better. Again, there's going to be a lot to consider on this front, but fans of the franchise seem to be a little burnt out on the ambitious, hyper-huge adventures the series has been producing as of late. That's for sure. Like Valhalla, AC Valhalla, I think a lot of the AC fans were really, really turned off by how stupidly large that game was. From exploring the entire nation of Egypt to trekking across ancient Greece and Old England, they've had more than their fair share of journeying in recent years. Now things are being scaled down in terms of the length of the story, the side content available on the map itself. It's a dense map with plenty to do, like Paris's map in Assassin's Creed Unity, but it's by no means stifling. And as this interview with Fabian revealed, it can be totally rinsed in around 30 hours. It was also revealed that Assassin's Creed Mirage will include a History of Baghdad feature that takes players around the city, teaching them about the culture, politics, and religion of the area. Interesting, if nothing else, and it's an example of some of the side content that players will come to enjoy when the game is released on October 12th. So I don't think it's a bad play to have a game be developed in a way that it's realistic for people to be able to complete the game. Whereas it felt like a lot of these Assassin's Creed games had gotten so massive, so stupidly large, that a lot of people felt like they wouldn't ever be able to complete them. But there's also something to be said for getting your money's worth, right? Getting your money's worth out of a game. And I feel like, I mean, we all know this is Ubi. Yeah? This is Ubi. And so because it's Ubi, and because it's an Assassin's Creed game, this is going to be a AAA price tag. So probably $70. And you're going to get 20 hours of gameplay out, right? Is that worth? Some people will say yes. I'm a bit more on the no side. If it was more around like 35 to 40 hours, I'd be like, okay, that probably feels a little bit better. But I think this just goes to show, I mean, the difference in, and don't get me wrong, I mean, like something like Dave the Diver and Assassin's Creed, these are completely different genres of games and everything, but it doesn't change the fact that, you know, the quality of content, the amount of content you're getting for the price of software, the price of the game, what you're paying for it. Again, I think this is going to be something each individual person has to respectively take a look at. Is it worth your money for this amount of content that you're getting, this quality of content? But this feels a little bit low to me. I think it's smart for Ubi to get back to the roots of what Assassin's Creed has been, but it doesn't mean that they have to just make the game short either. They just got to find that balance, man. Nintendo's Switch sale has critically acclaimed games priced at just $2. Switch users can save $60 on 3 Switch games for a limited time. This War of Mine, this is a banger of a game, dude. Normally costs $40 on the Switch. Released by this game has actually become a bit of educational material, if you didn't know, in trying to teach people how to survive in wartime situations. It's pretty impressive. It's a very, very good game. Normally costs $40, released by 11-bit studios. The war survival game debuted back in 2014, has sold over 7 million copies to date, making it one of the surprise hits of the last decade. Its Metacritic score ranges depending on the platform, with the highest version coming in with a score of 90. The second of the 3 games is Florence from 2018, another game that boasts a 90 on Metacritic. Florence was released by developer Mountains and publisher Annapurna Interactive. It's not nearly as expensive at a more humble price point of $6. In other words, $2 for it isn't as notable of a deal. The third and final game is Old Man's Journey, a game released by Broken Rules in 2017. Its normal price point is in the middle of the aforementioned games, usually running at $10. Meanwhile, its highest Metacritic score comes in a bit lower at a score of 87. That's still a great Metacritic score, though. Anything above like an 85 is usually going to be a Metacritic score above an 85 is usually going to be a game that's probably going to blow you away. To be very, very good to really kind of mind-blowing for you. They got all the trailers in here if you guys want to look at these. And these are pretty good deals. So if you're into getting some Switch sales, here you go. Take a look. So we knew this was coming. Look, to preface this, the Red Dead Redemption got re-rated in South Korea, which was a huge indicator before we got anything official that this game was coming back to us in some form or fashion. Usually what that means, a re-rating, means that if a game is getting re-rated, it's because it's either getting a remake release or a remastered release. And the thought was that this was going to be a remaster, right? Rockstar has many other things on their plate right now where it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for them to have been remaking Red Dead Redemption, but a remaster did make more sense. Red Dead Redemption 2 was released by Rockstar Games in the year 2018. The game quickly became one of the best games of all time. Since then, fans have been waiting for the next installment in the series, or maybe a remaster of the first one. Red Dead Redemption came out in 2010, 2 years after the release of GTA 4, and players were bewildered by how amazing the game was. The storyline of the game revolves around the player who can freely roam in the open world of the Wild West, making moral choices and deeds along with the gameplay revolving around shootouts, robberies, hunting, and other tasks, is something that players need to master themselves. There's a bounty system for the responsive law enforcement officers and bounty officers for all the crimes the players commit. The game can be played in first as well as third-person perspective. A new tweet has spiked up people's interest that Rockstar Games is working on bringing out a remastered version of the game. The basis of this tweet links to recent activity on the Rockstar Games website. Recently, a tweet from @TezFunds2 has created a stir among the fans of Red Dead Redemption franchise. The account is hinting towards a potential remastered version of the game the developers might be working on. As of now, there's no official news or announcements from Rockstar, but their website did give a hint of what the future might hold. Rockstar's new site update live an hour ago added a new reference within the games list. Red Dead Redemption. Rockstar presents codename RDR1 RSP. According to the tweet, the developers have added Red Dead Redemption to the internal games list. Codename attached to it is RDR1 RSP. However, this does not confirm anything and might just be a branding exercise to update the logo, but it, in a way, corroborates the rumors that have been going on for a long time about the development of the remastered version. Yeah, new photo has made everyone curious and just has one word, presents, which indicates that there is a chance of a remastered version being released sometime soon. Yeah. Franchise could have received better love from the fans of Rockstar Games, focused more on the GTA series, and hence Red Dead Redemption somehow got sidelined. Well, yeah, dude, RDR2 online, the people that play that game, dude, have been getting just overlooked forever. Over about the past couple of years, we've read all kinds of stuff where Rockstar would just constantly be pushing out these big new updates for GTA 5, and every time it would happen, they would push out a really, really small update for Red Dead Redemption 2 online. And all the players of the game would just start blowing up like Twitter and stuff and be like, what is this crap? Like, we get a pair of chaps. It's like, we get a new pair of chaps. GTA 5 gets like all this new content, It's like people were pissed, dude. It was just happening constantly too. There's also a chance the remastered edition will be available for modern consoles, while the developers are quite busy working on GTA 6. Let's see what the future holds for the franchise. Yeah, it's coming, dude. This is just another, I think, look, there's nothing official. There's nothing official yet, but there is some really, really, really good information out there that Red Dead Redemption Remaster is headed our way, okay? I'll link this if you need it. Popular Xbox 360 game can now be played on the Series X for $1.50. All the classic Halo games are on sale, and one in particular is extra dirt cheap. Many have never played Halo 3 ODST because it's a spin-off. If you're one of these Halo fans, you should remedy this. It's not as good as fellow spin-off Halo Reach, but it's still worth playing. And right now it's on sale for $1.50. In addition to this, Halo 4, Halo 3, Halo 2, Halo Reach, and the original Halo are all on sale for $2.50 each. If you don't mind buying all of these games together, you can get them in a bundle. The Halo Master Chief Collection for $10 and save $30 in the process. The only catch on all of these deals is that they are set to expire on the 31st of July, so tomorrow. In other words, these deals will disappear in 2 days from this writing, which means by the time you're reading this, the various deals may no longer exist. If this happens, you can take some solace in that these classic Halo games regularly go on sale. So this is on the Microsoft Store. Microsoft Store, you can get all the Halo games right now for these prices. I'll link it. I'll link this article for you guys. There you go. All right. Last article I have for the morning. Oh, good stretch. Get your stretches in. Buster Sword. If you guys have anything else to add for video gaming news, let me know, and we'll address it before we move on and play Remnant 2 for the rest of the day, okay? Want some Final Fantasy in your Final Fantasy? The Final Fantasy 14 team wants to put old Final Fantasy games in player housing. This is sick. But they need some help. If you're an engineering whiz, Yoshida wants to talk. I mean, to be fair, and this will never happen from Square, okay, but like what we saw with yeah, Davey, I'm not sure. That's all it talked about. I think it might just be on Steam. Or just be on PC, yeah. I think so. I think. I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me talk about this and I'll look it up. The Capcom recently started their own website that is about preserving their video gaming history. It actually gives a place where people can go and play old school Capcom games, like, you know, old Street Fighter games and stuff like that. You can just go to the website and play them, dude. It's pretty cool. You know, it'd be nice to see more companies do that kind of thing. The thing with Square is that, like, they'll never do something like that with at least the Final Fantasy series, you know? It's just too popular, it's too lucrative for them. And you know, so seeing them do something like this in a game is cool. It would be cooler if they just gave people access to some of the old Final Fantasy games, but again, it just doesn't make business sense for them, you know? But this is still really neat. And if they were able to make this happen where, like, in the game, because you're paying a monthly subscription for this too. So I think this is where one way they can, like, entice more people to come in, play the MMORPG, and also get to play some old school Final Fantasy games, maybe, you know? That's pretty neat. The Pixel Remaster series brought Final Fantasy Classics to Steam with a modern rework and an updated look, but the Final Fantasy XIV team wants to add another way for players to go back to the series' roots. If you ever wanted to play a Final Fantasy inside of your Final Fantasy, Yoshida's got your back, maybe. We've been trying or attempting, this is a quote from Yoshida. We've been trying or attempting this since about a year and a half ago, Yoshida said. With Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series coming out, we also thought that wouldn't it be cool if we can play that in Gold Saucer or have it in our estate to play with in Final Fantasy XIV, right? Yoshida explained the team got as far as testing this idea, but putting the Pixel Remasters inside FF14 got complicated. We realized the Pixel Remasters are running on a middleware. He went on, because it's running on middleware, if you want to implement that into 14, you'd have to build another system that can play that middleware inside of the game. So it's like building a system of a game to play a system of a game inside. It's just this weird configuration. Yeah, it's a big puzzle, dude. It's a big puzzle. Our Final Fantasy XIV team is, I love them, but they're crazy. Though I don't think they're that crazy. Yoshida, seemingly only half joking, went on to say if he could get a couple more super genius programmers, they may have a path forward when it comes to adding playable Final Fantasy classics inside of your Final Fantasy XIV house or the Gold Saucer amusement park. Went as far as to ask for resumes just in case there are any Warriors of Light out there that may have suggestions. Oh, no way. Though if you were hoping the feature would come with no strings attached, Yoshida noted it's got to work as a business somehow. We would probably consider maybe Final Fantasy 1 through 3 might be free, but we can't give them all away. So maybe 4, though we might have to think of how it would become a business. Like I said. People are already paying a monthly subscription. What's monthly subscription to Final Fantasy 14? So it gets a little bit cheaper the more you buy in advance, right? But I mean, it's not cheap. You're already getting people to buy into this, like, in monthly subscriptions. And then it's like, It feels like they should at least do a little bit better if they are able to get them in the game. You know, just give them to people that are in the game. It's not like they get to keep them for free or anything. You have to keep buying into the game to keep playing those and stuff. So I don't know. That's Square Enix, dude. That's Square for you. Yeah, let me look this up real quick. Jagged Alliance 3 platforms. What we got here? Just Windows PCs, dude. So I don't know what other it might just be on Steam at this point, and maybe the Windows Store. I don't know, but it is not on consoles or anything. Just PC, dude. That's it. You'd have to try to take a look at if it might be on Epic or GOG or I mean obviously we know it's on Steam, but yeah, it might be on the Windows Store, stuff like that. Jagged Alliance 3 only on Windows, looks like. Yeah. Cool. Cool. That's the Jam-a-Lam, baby. You guys rock. Happy flipping Sunday. Hope your weekend's going well. Davey, I'm glad you made it home. We're going to go play Remnant 2. Have a good time. I don't know, man. If anybody's getting to check out this content, we've got all of our other video gaming news segments that we conduct at the beginning of all of our streams, as well as all of our gameplay, funny clips and highlights. Clips and highlights of me malding out because I play games, very difficult games. It's stuff like that. That's all out there on the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel. So if you're checking this out, go check some of that other content out. And if you're enjoying any of it, then come hang out with us, man. We go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day. I always start off with video gaming news. Excuse me, every single day, but Wednesdays right now. So 6 days a week. We start off at 6 a.m. CST. That would be 4 a.m. Pacific or 7 a.m. Eastern. We do the video gaming news segments before we dive into the gameplay for the rest of the day, whatever we have planned. So I guess other than that, man, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will catch everybody tomorrow for July 31st edition of Video Gaming News. All right.